Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, enemies and friends, welcome to the show that never ends. You are tuned into On the Reel, where we keep you up to date on all the latest in the world of TV and movies. I am your host, the Everborn Saga, and joining me today is my brother from another mother, Mr. TKO _, Asante.
There it is.
God damn it, you've done it.
What's going on, man? Stop it. Oh, look at this.
Son of a
just
bitch,
out of nowhere, just like blam.
And also, just in the nick of time, my brother from the same mother, Mr. Johnson. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm chilling like a villain, man.
Is it going to be a
like my God King?
Every time you show up, new eclectic glasses, this is going to be a thing. I appreciate it, bro. I'm there.
Jonathan Majors out here telling HBO, I don't need you.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
What's happening?
What's good?
All right, so I want to get right into this thing. So let's get through what we're watching,
gritty,
and then we're gonna go into Black Widow, and then we're gonna talk about all the greatness that was the Loki season finale and where the MCU is gonna. I thought it was amazing, and I will tell you why, but I will not tell you why yet. So, Mr. K. Asante, what have you been watching today, good sir?
I watched, let's see, Die in a Gunfight. Have you heard of this?
Nope.
It's new, coming out. Interesting, weird, eclectic film. Let me see. I think I actually have. It was one of those films that somebody recommended that I watch. It's not necessarily the most amazing thing on earth, but if you like those HBO movies that you watch when they're on, back in the day when you could like channel surf, this is one of those, and I enjoyed it.
Back when the curator gods told us what you couldn't watch.
That's right. Back when the curator gods determined it all, so that was cool. I watched that. It was all right. I wouldn't. I have a soft recommendation for it. As also. The other thing I watched was Werewolves Within, which I did not like, so I wouldn't recommend that one. It was a little bit, the dude that from the movie we talked about last week with Chris Pratt.
Yes, Tomorrow War.
Yes, the dude you did not like from Tomorrow War.
Jesus, that dude from Veep.
Yes, his vehicle.
Okay.
Werewolves Within, based on a video game called Werewolves.
Yes. Yeah, well, hold on. Is that the one that Telltale did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I get the idea. It's fun, but y'all can do better is basically it. And the final thing that I watched was, it's technically a cheat because we're going to discuss it, but I watched Black Widow like 4 times. So
that's what I was going to say.
1.5 times.
I watched it like 4 times.
I've been rewatching Loki and Black Widow and a bunch of YouTube explainers for what's going to happen. That's like literally all I've been watching for the last week. So
I've been doing that all day too.
Yep.
That's good.
Digging through all the Kangs. Digging through the Kangs.
Because I'm not going to be here in front like I read all those comics as a kid. So if other people did the knowledge, I'm going to do the cliff notes.
Yeah.
All right. So have you been watching anything else, or have you just been an MCU zombie like me all week, Mr. Johnson?
MCU and, my go-to wrestling biographies.
Okay.
I love it, bro. That's
now,
my thing.
I was supposed to watch Fear Street Part 2, but I haven't gotten to watch it yet. We may watch it. I'm planning, because Part 3 comes out on Friday. So my plan is to watch 1978 and 1666 on Saturday. I'm just going to do a double header so I can finish that trilogy this weekend. Yeah.
I also been watching Rick and Morty every Sunday.
Are the new episodes out?
Yeah, it's
I got
4 or 5 episodes in or something.
I'm waiting for the season to finish, and I'm a binge once.
Shit.
Don't tell me
some stuff, man.
Don't tell me.
I love that show. I always
definitely shouldn't let your kids watch it.
Of course not.
I mean, it is like a sort of textbook explainer of nihilism, so maybe you should teach it
it's
that nothing means anything.
I mean,
so why try?
If you see it, you'll be disgusted. The shit that they do, disgusted.
Okay, but we digress. So we know what we've all been watching. But I want to get into Black Widow because that's a big thing that we were watching. So I think it's a good segue. LeVar, I want to start with you because we talked. Actually, I don't want to start with you because I know what you're going to say.
You don't know what
I disagree with you. No, whatever.
Mind.
I know. I'm just saying based on the conversations we've had offline. I have not I haven't talked because we watched it together. So, Mr. K. Asante, I have no idea how you feel about the movie. I want to hear what you have to say because I think me and Mr. Johnson are going to have a very big argument.
Oh, because I'm going to say it's trash.
Okay. I think, and we can dig into the details. You know,
we are
dig. We're gonna dig, but the high level of my thoughts are: it is 3 years too late. 4 years too something. You know, it should have the timeline in which the movie places you in is when it should have been released because it would have gotten the respect it deserved.
They definitely should have made this instead of Captain Marvel. As a matter of fact, they should have done this
before Wonder Woman came out.
No, not before Wonder Woman. Yep. That's fine. Wonder Woman Part 1 was cool. I'm saying if Black Panther and Black Widow were the movies in between Civil War and Infinity War, that would have been perfect.
That's it. That's what they were aiming for, right? And I think that's why they dropped that nice little Windows Phone reference at the beginning to kind of put you in that place, right? I'm like, did I see what I thought I saw? Had to rewind, pause.
I was managing the continuity there. I appreciate that.
That's right. But in general, I mean, we can dig, but in general, high level, in a vacuum, great Black Widow movie. In a vacuum. And what I mean by that is without the nerds going, well, actually, without the continuity threads being pulled, there are some ridiculous things in there. If we have to do straight like numbers, depending on the time of the day, I'll say between either 7.5 or 8. I actually thought it was very entertaining. I watched it multiple times, so I actually liked it. And every time I see it, I see something else in it. You know, and you said something to me a while ago, Everborn, that still resonates. That they spend a lot of time translating the medium to translating the subject matter to the medium itself. Right, so you can't make a comic book movie and make sure that everything is so comics accurate because then it'll look really goofy. You know, Wolverine looks badass on comic. Yellow spandex still looks goofy as fuck. I don't care who you are. If you're walking around with yellow spandex,
how they do it. I think they got it now to where
I mean, the MCU has been like the best, like industry wise, in terms of comics accurate costumes. But I know your point, and it seems like you're coming to Taskmaster, which I have a whole subject for. But
we're not going to go deep. I'm just giving you a high level.
I want to get LeVar's view, and then we'll come to Taskmaster.
At a high level, in a vacuum, it was a perfect Black Widow movie. I enjoyed the child, the sister, the dynamic. I have qualms. Obviously, I'm not a fan of what they did to basically. No, we're not going there.
We are going to go
Taskmaster. We're going to go there, but that's not what this is. Taskmaster is not what this is. Where I have a problem is I don't like what they did to basically the Russian Captain America. He deserved a bit more respect than that. Yeah, it was really goofy. And you know what?
It's just in the movie. Yeah, go ahead.
In the context of the film, it made perfect sense, and I appreciated that. But they should have at least given him his moment at the end of the film, and they even didn't do that, and that was a little upsetting to me. Also, his wife should have gotten a little bit of comeuppance because she basically was kind of the villain the whole time, and they kind of didn't. They yada past that, and they kept it moving. Oh, our mom, even though she kind of was the instrument of your of your life.
From they had the dinner, they were all cool, and she was already in the plan with Black Widow, so there was no need for her.
She was there from day one, and when they found that out, it kind of yada and moved it on. I do have those small little qualms here and there. I know there's the Taskmaster issue, which we can discuss, and I'm ready to have that conversation because I know it's comic history, and I know what they did here. For me, they did a good job because I get it. He was there. He did what he did. He's a character that deserves to be respected for what he was respected for. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. But in the context of this story, perfect execution.
So you prefer your Taskmaster as RoboCop, is what you're saying?
No. I prefer all of the characters, right? Just like we're going to go into Loki. I prefer all of the characters to fit the medium and the frame in which they're putting it together. I don't want them to spend so much time. Oh, well, we have to make him what he was but but the story doesn't work that way. What, you're gonna just introduce this dude out of nowhere? No, this fits perfectly within the frame of the story they're trying to tell.
So I'm going to push back. Okay, I will push back in a second, but I do want to hear LeVar's take, and then I will come back and push back on those points, and also agree with you at the same time. That'll be fun. I'm going to walk that tightrope.
Yes,
Mr.
And
Johnson,
I agree in both instances. I'm sure I know what he's going to say, and I agree with him on that as well. So please,
tell us
give
us your take.
I feel like it was a bunch of spy movies that I've already seen, and they just took a piece from here, took a piece from there, and just mashed it all up into a movie. I feel like I've seen all of that stuff before, but better.
In Winter Soldier.
In other movies, even in Mission Impossible movies. You know, it was just a lot of stuff that I felt like I seen before. It was a lot of stuff that I felt was stupid. Like the whole thing with the pheromones, like she can't do nothing to him because of the pheromones. So you telling me she couldn't have walked 10 feet across the room and then shot him in the head there? You know, like,
no, she had to break her nose.
I have to stay here next to you. Like, she has no control of, except that when I can smell you, I can't do shit.
OGTK Cole agrees with you.
Throw a rock at your head. How about that?
You know, these are spies and super agents. You're telling me nobody got a sniper anywhere? Like,
come on, man. Come on.
I hear you.
Also, when she went to pick up the Red Guardian from jail, there was people there. You telling me all the COs there were bad? None of them was just trying to feed their family? So
it's like
everybody there in that avalanche?
Well, I mean,
but
listen,
they didn't do it on purpose.
What did you need the Red Guardian for? Because basically you told him he was useless. He was getting his ass whooped by Taskmaster every time he tried to say Guardian helped walked away from him. Oh, you don't get an earpiece. You're not a part of the plan. So why is he even there except to be comic relief?
No, but he basically told them who was in the mix. Like, he had pertinent information for the purpose of the story.
What, to tell them where their mom was?
Yes, and they needed to get to her to get to
make him the comic relief.
Yeah, the comic relief stuff I already told you. I agree with you. I hear the comic relief. He did a good job there. He should have had a moment of redemption.
Yes,
in the comics, right? Obviously,
a fuck up.
You know, as I said, in the comics, in a vacuum, it's a decent, but it's not in a vacuum that people are going to see this. So there will be people who go, hey, come on now. I get what you were doing. I actually liked Red Guardian in this way. But give him his moment because he is a super soldier. Come on now.
I think show me a flashback scene with him fighting Captain.
I think that they're just trying to get the new demographic of dad bods, right? Like, so
I don't mind that he's a dad bod. Show him doing something good. Come on now.
This is just representation
the whole time.
Also, the whole trope of the bad guy explaining his entire plan to a person. It's just like, oh, I'm a helpless girl. Tell me everything you're gonna do. Oh, that's it. Bang. Smashes her head on the table, and that's it. Come on.
And at the end of the day, he trained all of those, so he should know what she's capable of. Why would you sit there and talk?
That was a little bit that was like crazy because, like, you're supposed to be like a master spy, right? Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be like above the Kremlin in Russia, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and everyone you don't have
trained by you,
right? You don't have the wherewithal or the smarts to know what tools she's using against you in terms of like spycraft.
So why wait till she's in front of him to smash the chip in front of him? Why not just front like she didn't know about it the whole damn time? But even him just telling her his whole plan was stupid.
I think, but okay, so I do think I'm going to come to that. But I want to just attack.
I know you want to like Marvel stuff, but I feel
this is not about liking Marvel stuff. There's a lot of Marvel stuff I don't like.
I feel like
we can both like it and have a problem with certain aspects of it. Both can be true.
I don't need to see this movie in the grander scheme of things. Why do I need to see it? To know why her hair was blonde and why she got that vest? Who gives a shit?
Like I said in my part, like, honestly, this is an artifact of its time. Had it been released during its time,
but they made it now, so you can't really use that argument, right?
No, I know that, but before we knew everything we know now, we would have accepted that better. Now we know so much more. We've passed this point.
I hear that, but so I just, like I said, I want to push back on a
I wanted to say one more thing.
Go ahead,
please. King was super wrong when he was on the show. KSI was right. He was like, I don't think this is season 2, but Big facts. Can't say I think was right.
I just had to throw that out there.
I think that's the only one that's getting a season 2, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
So
and real quick,
movies, but
in addition to that being the only one getting a season 2, the only TV show, it's been confirmed now, the only TV show where Feige said you didn't need to watch it for it not to matter when in the grand MCU was not all the TV shows. It was WandaVision only.
Yeah, but that one brought back Vision. So how does that work?
It's weird. Like, it's been verified. He specifically just said, because somebody stepped to him and said, "What do you mean Kang is very influential?" Well, I meant it about WandaVision, is what he said. And I'm like,
I heard that Loki and Wanda and Vision are all going to show up in Doctor Strange Multiverse.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would argue the only one of the series that you didn't need to watch was Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yep, at all.
Because he had the shield at the end, and now he has it back. So effectively, none of that shit mattered if you watched Endgame. And the next time you see him, he'll have the shield.
Keep forgetting about the costume. Like, I would have been like,
what? You don't have to say that. You just say he got the costume from Wakanda. That's it. They start movies. Every movie, they just start with a new costume. They don't have to do a whole show to tell you how they got that costume.
They did that with WandaVision. They did a whole show showing you how she got her costume, basically. That's what they did.
Yeah, but
I also expected
Captain America to Winter Soldier to Civil War. He had 3 costumes. No explanation. Iron Man has the Mark 47, different costume every time.
Sure,
you don't have to ask that. You don't have to.
I'll give you that.
To do that.
I don't need like an explanation for why you got a new costume. Y'all be in battles, shit get torn up and broken. Obviously you got new clothes. You don't wear the same clothes every effing day. So why would they wear the same outfit every day?
Understood.
All right. So now, like I said, if you guys will allow me, I just want to push back on.
Please go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear this. Yes.
So in terms of the Taskmaster, right? Like you said, in a vacuum, absolutely works.
It did the job,
right?
Yes.
That story, because Black Widow basically was confronted with the same decision that Tony Montana had to make, right? when he was supposed to kill the guy, but the kid was in the car, and he said, "I'm not killing no women or kids." And then Sosa had to come after him in the end. Black Widow said, "I'm killing the kids,
murking them fools."
Right? and the idea that decision was coming back to her, perfect. I loved it.
I thought it was great. Yeah, and even the callback from the original MCU. You know that whole red in your ledger and his
but you can make up whatever red in your ledger you want when you make it now.
Of course. I love the fact that they threaded the needle so much that it seemed like they knew what they were talking about the whole time, even though I know somebody wrote it.
That's the genius.
It was real well done
of the writers' room in the MCU. But that being said,
real quick, you don't think they're doing that whole trope of the hero creates his own villain? They running that shit into the ground at Marvel every single time.
But I'm coming to that point, which is I think they copped out at the end.
Okay.
Right? Because if the Taskmaster in this was driven by revenge, that's a lot more interesting than being controlled by the fake Harvey Weinstein.
100%.
Right?
100%.
And
fake Harvey Weinstein.
So that's really what it was. Like, this whole thing was this heavy-handed metaphor where, oh my God, these helpless women, they can't control themselves. They're being controlled by the powerful man. Right? And his pheromones, because he's so powerful. I can't control myself. He's making me do these things. He's making me lay on the casting couch. So the thing is, that's kind of what I didn't like. I get the point they were trying to make, but it's too heavy-handed in what they tried to do. So if Taskmaster was driven by her revenge for Black Widow that basically turned her into this robot. Great. That's super interesting.
Here's the thing, though.
The problem with this movie, it does not give the women agency, because it's saying nothing
takes it away from
them.
Right? Is their fault. Yeah.
Right, and that's a weak argument.
But there is one small pushback to that. And that may be what happens. Okay, this is outside the frame of the film, so it's a cheat. I get it, but both can be true. Where yes, she was being controlled by a chip. Yes, she finally took the chip away, or she got rid of her father, right? And they had that moment of, is he gone? Yes, he's gone. Doesn't mean that she still doesn't hold out that revenge feeling for her, but there was nothing was expressed.
Because in the movie, she looked at Natasha. She looked at Natasha and was like, "Is he gone?" She didn't say, "Bitch, you blew me up."
Yes,
she's worried about is he going.
The reason why I pushed this back,
hugged each other at the end because
the reason why I pushed this back, because even with like her sister, I forget her name, Belova, both have last names of Belova.
Yelena Belova, yes.
Yelena.
Florence Pugh.
She ends up Florence Pugh. She ends up on the wrong side at the end of this whole situation. She ends up on the what are they, the Thunderbolts / Dark Avengers side? We don't know yet. Right, and so will the new Taskmaster. Taskmaster. So that's why I'm like, both can be true, but you're absolutely right that in the frame of the film they did not fully express it, and they basically made it all, it's a robot. The robot chip has been removed. She's back to being normal now. Yeah, that was a cop out. You're right.
And I'll agree with you on that. And holds no grudges against Natasha.
And
right?
Exactly. And that's why I'm like 7.5, 8 out of 10. Because there are lots of these little things like that.
And now I want to be fair here, right? We can say that, because the other argument you could say is that's a great narrative thread. Why did you have to use Taskmaster for that? Right? Like what?
That is a good point. They could have done that without
literally
Taskmaster.
Could have been anyone. You didn't have to
been a
make
different
that
character.
Be Taskmaster.
Yeah, they could have invented a new character and yeah, you're right.
So
and here's another thing to add to the side of what the hell, right? Why was she dressed like a man? And why was there no explanation as to why she was dressed like a man? You chose to use Taskmaster, and we know the Taskmaster generally is a dude. I get that in the frame of the film, you want to twist it and go, oh, she's a girl. I get all that. But you should also add the reason why you hid her.
Well, I would argue that I don't know if she has a body anymore. I think she's all like robot, right? Like, that's why I say this RoboCop. So there's no to have the
but at the end of the day, it looks like a man, like full man, and that's why when they took it off, it's like it's that what do you call it? It's that Darth Vader reveal. You're like, I wasn't expecting that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that.
I wasn't expecting James Earl Jones to be white.
Exactly.
Wearing hockey pads. That's all.
No, I mean, I get all that. It's just a little bit irresponsible of that film to just kind of yada that part away. They should have done a little bit more, because then it fits the frame very well. And those who know who Taskmaster really is will have their complaints, but within the frame of the film, it makes perfect sense. This still is missing a little bit.
That part doesn't bother me, and I'll tell you why. Who is to say that is really Taskmaster? Look at Iron Man 3. And now look at Shang-Chi coming out.
And they never called her the Taskmaster. It's the Taskmaster protocol, meaning it was the system. It's the system that designed her suit and her sentience and all of that. So realistically, you could put a dude in the suit and it could also be the Taskmaster protocol. It's a way they can get out of this, but still it's a little bit crappy.
And you know Kevin Feige loves to retcon things, right?
Oh yeah.
So if there's a lot of pushback with this, he'll just say, no, that was never Taskmaster.
Didn't he just retcon himself? Oh, the TV shows don't matter. Oh, I meant
right. So all
of that, wink, the one who remains.
Exactly. Right. So there is that, and now you have this whole timeline thing, which we'll get into with Loki. Mm-hmm. But so I think it was a cop out. Right. Yeah. And I think that they were just overly heavy handed with these metaphors that they were trying to go with. Right. Like that. So and to me, it felt as though they took away agency. So those are the things that I didn't like. Mm-hmm. Now, the things that I did like is one thing that I'm missing in the MCU shows are the sort of bombast and fight choreography and car chases that you only really get in movies because they take a long time to do. I think that, especially if you look at Loki, right? I think that they've come to that level of CGI where they can do it in real time with these Unreal engines doing the green screen in the background. Mm-hmm, yep. That's great. The scenery and everything. Like if you look at a TV show Loki and then you look at what's on The Flash,
Yeah, you don't see anything first. Yeah. The Flash is absolutely like a trash fire comparison. Yeah, of course.
Crazy. Like people on YouTube are doing better than, and no disrespect to people on YouTube, but they're doing better than what's on the Flash right now. So my point is, I think they've come in a way where you have that this doesn't feel like budget MCU, but it's you still don't get that sort of choreography that you would get. And
but you also have to remember when this was all filmed too, right? They are also all a symptom of the environment in which this was produced.
I don't think you will ever get that kind of fight choreography in these Disney shows, not because they can't afford it, but it takes time to do those things.
Well, we're still talking about Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow. I'm saying Black Widow was great. I'm comparing it to the
you're saying that you wish that it had more of that in Loki?
No, not in Loki. Look at
or in any Disney show period.
Falcon and Winter Soldier fight scenes and car chases.
Yeah,
Black Widow, it's not on the same level.
Of course, but that's where I say it was filmed in a specific situation. You don't know what would have happened if they had more free reign.
I missed that, and I got that in the movie. So I was very pleased. Now we watched it at home with the Dolby Digital and the Dolby Vision and the Dolby Atmos and the OLED and all of that, and it was cool. But the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, yo, this would have been. I would like this even more if I saw it in IMAX. So to me, that says theaters are not dead, even though I don't want to go. So it had that. It had everything that you look for in an MCU movie. And to me,
there are some video games that you have to play in an arcade. Few and far between, but they still exist.
Right. And again, to me, if you ask me, Black Widow wasn't the best MCU.
No.
Was it in the top 10? I don't know. Maybe not. So. Yeah. But
it's still top. It's top
better
tier.
Than Thor: The Dark World. It's better than Captain Marvel. Better than Ant-Man 1 and 2.
I would put it on the same level as Captain Marvel, but I liked both of them for different reasons. Yeah, like as a normal spy film, I think Black Widow was way better. No, I like Captain Marvel for what it was doing. It had more comedy. It had more. It was trying to do. It has Sam Jackson in it. Goddammit! You will not slander any film with Sam Jackson in it. Even
I can't get over that he lost his eye with the cat scratch shit and the whole movie with her with the dumb stuff all the time. Like,
had you waiting the whole time going, is this when he's going to lose his eye?
So that's a whole personality, a smirk.
Right. But I mean, so again, to me, it's better than quite a few of the MCU movies.
The dumbest shit I ever seen in all film history. How the hell did that child know how to work alien technology to pick her costume colors?
We're not talking Monica Rambeau. We're not talking about Captain Marvel right now. We're talking about Black Widow. So my point is, I give the movie an 8 because I enjoyed my time with it. I liked the fight scenes. I thought David Harbour stole every scene he was in, even though they were trying to downplay him.
And they clowned him, but he made the best of it. He really did.
But again, that's just one thing. Because
nobody in it should have had accents because everybody jumped out of their accent, and it just seems so forced.
Don't get me started on the accents, man. Don't get me started on accents.
No, we can talk about the fake European accents. We just can't talk about Black Panther.
Americans are the worst with accents, bro. The worst.
Right? Don't get me started, man. How about y'all just hire some people from the countries they're from so you don't have to do
make everybody speak English the same way they
make everybody speak English. Who cares?
After accent.
Have you seen Mulan? Everybody spoke English.
Yes,
they don't speak English.
All these accents. If y'all can't do it, just speak English.
And the audience was going us. And listen, they were living in America for so long. They were supposed to get rid of their accents, right? So
seriously,
they did not need it. And the little girl, Yelena, if that's where you were born, which she was probably born in America or there from a baby because she was the young one, right?
Yeah. How the hell do you gain the accent after so
many? It doesn't make sense. Like that, you didn't need to do it, and it took away because every time you're like, oh god, they're doing this fake.
And the crazy part about that is Florence Pugh is British, so this is a British girl doing a Russian accent. It really didn't come off well,
right? So,
I thought she was one of the best characters in the whole film.
No, I thought Black Widow was represented really well. And I like again. I loved the action scenes. I loved what they were trying to accomplish. I just felt like they did not commit to it in the end, and they should have given.
The last third was not good.
Yeah,
as they all tend to be. And did you see that part where it looked like Matrix Reloaded, literally Matrix Reloaded graphics? Before then, it was perfect CG, perfect. But there's a scene where everyone's crashing and they're all going down.
Yeah,
and there's a scene where she's trying to save her. It looks, you see it. Like Nathan Drake looks better than she does in that small spot. Like what happened?
But again, I thought another good thing that they did is the widows are now or the Red Room are now just as established in the MCU as the Dora Milaje. Like they're all over the place. They could be anywhere. They could show up in anything. And I would like to see them fight the Dora Milaje and lose.
I think the Dora Milaje made a better impression than the widows did. They could have made the same level of impression.
Yeah, because the Dora Milaje have agency. Unlike these.
Here's a question I have, and this is genuinely a question that I have. Right, I thought it was a little bit. They kind of they washed it away. They didn't really speak on it. The Taskmaster situation. Okay.
Yes,
I get that we can yada yada the whole thing. We know what Taskmaster basically is. He's able to use whatever he's able to use, because in the comic is different than in this movie.
Yeah, but it's not technology, it's like magic in the comics.
That's right. To mimic, right? In this film, she is a girl who was blown up, who was saved by her dad, had to put a chip in her head, all this robotic stuff, right?
I think he replaced the whole body.
But at the end of the day, how is it that she because of that, he's able to reproduce the skills of the super soldier? This substance that people literally like go to the ends of the earth to hunt down.
A robot. This is what I'm telling you.
I get that, but
the robot is strong. She's not. It's not super soldier serum.
I get that, but if that's the case, then why is everybody running around trying to find super soldier serum when you can just build a robot that's just as strong as a super soldier? Come on, now.
That's not fair. That's
ridiculous.
No,
dude. What do you mean?
No. There's a lot of
robot technology. How you know that all that technology is not just in the house?
Yeah, nobody. You're assuming that
because the body looks like it was a RoboCop.
No, it looked like she wearing a baggy suit.
It looked like she was wearing a suit to me. For sure.
That's what it looked like to me.
It looked like, I agree with that.
I disagree. I think she is just
starting to look faker to me.
I think she's a neck and a head. That's what I think she is on a robot's body. Yes,
and a neck and a head on a robot's body is just
because she got blew up
as Captain America, just as strong as Black Panther, just as come on now.
Okay, how strong was Ultron?
Just so you know,
robots are steel. Well, no,
Ultron. Taskmaster does not have super strength. Taskmaster can copy anybody's moveset, like he fought Spider-Man or whoever, but he doesn't have their superpower. He can't
fight like that. No, his power is not the level of them. He can copy them. He can know their style. He can know their abilities. But you cannot tell me he will throw the freaking shield and be like Steve Rogers. No, that's not how he was. So if you want to make it that way, okay. But then explain it.
Robot arms. That's all I'm saying.
But they didn't explain that to me. All they talked about was the chip at the back of her head. They spent nothing about the body, nothing about the RoboCop situation. It's a little bit,
It was all self-explanatory. But anyway,
one of the best fighters in Marvel. That's it. One of the best fighters in Marvel. Not a superhero, not super speed. Thor could kill this thing in a second.
Can he be counted as one of the best fighters if he's just using other people's moves? I'm just saying. Right?
A swagger jacket is what he is, bro.
Right. So, okay. Now I wanna transition into the other thing that stole. What's your score on it, LeVar? And then we'll transition to the next thing. So we got an 8 from me, a 7.5 from K.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it my rating. It wasn't even whack.
That's a good. That's on the cam. That's on the cam meter. The camera meter.
That's on when we start putting up t-shirts. It wasn't even whack. The catchphrase.
True, and that should be the caption on it.
It wasn't even whack.
On the reel. It wasn't even whack.
So okay, and Courtney says he adapts, so he's able to predict the next move. Okay, cool. Yeah. Iron Man did that in Civil War, but That's neither here nor there. So I want to move on to the thing that stole all of Black Widow's thunder, because I was very hype on Black Widow, and then the thing that stole Black Widow's thunder was another MCU story, and it was a TV show on Disney Plus. Loki, episode 6, the season finale, where we are introduced to Jonathan Majors as Kang, maybe the Conqueror.
The one who remains. They never say, because even in the credits it says the one who
remains. Hold on, give me a second here. So this weekend, I went to go and watch a film where we saw a protagonist try to save the world, change the world from what we knew it, only to then be greeted by a person sitting down explaining that they thought they were special, but they're not as special as they were, only to find out that their dreams were completely dashed and it wasn't what they thought they was.
But enough about
Matrix 2. That's right. Let's talk about this movie. Boom goes the dynamite. That's what you call that one right there. It's exactly the same premise. Even except for he was more of a charismatic architect.
Just so you know, premise. Immortus is a version of Kang.
Yes. His name is Immortus. He is the academic Kang.
Still Kang though.
It is Kang.
He's a version of it.
He's a version. There are infinite versions of Kang.
Sylvia's Loki. It's a version.
Yeah.
So it's Kang.
It is Kang.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
There are multiple versions.
But not really.
I want to make sure.
You can say, I'm a conqueror. I'll go by many names, like the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning.
You
and the
heard
end,
him explain
like
it. There are many versions of him. Some versions of him, and specifically the one that the Immortus that we introduced to. He is the most approachable version of Kang. Even in the comics, he's the one that's seen it all, been through it all, knows the mistakes he's made, and is trying to avoid it. To the point where in the comics, he actually joins the TVA. He doesn't create the TVA. He joins the TVA to try and correct some mistakes that his other versions had done.
Right, and he programmed his watch to move around. Can we talk about how much of a jerk Sylvia is?
Yes. Well, but that's Loki.
No,
that's Loki.
She's a capital C word, bro. A capital C word.
Easy. Like
that's Star-Lord levels of fucking up. Like,
it's worse than that.
It's way worse.
Because Star-Lord didn't know. She knew what was going to happen. And because she was so caught in her feelings, she's just like, I got to do it. Right?
Like, no,
forget about the whole universe.
I don't care. I'm pissed off.
I do have one gripe, though.
Die, evil man.
One gripe. So, and I didn't catch this until I kind of let it marinate through my head a little bit, and I also caught some other folks mention it, and it really was like, that's interesting. So the Loki that we see, the Loki that we are
not our Loki though, right? Our Loki got killed by Thanos, or did not get killed by Thanos.
Well, he's our Loki now,
and was Richard E. Grant, but
I get it.
Loki
this Loki that we started with,
how it could be a million Rick and Mortys. Our Rick and Morty is whatever Rick and Morty would follow in that episode.
Yeah, the Loki we started with is our Loki, and that Loki was what? He was part of the original Avengers movie where he had he's in a cage. I saw a video where he's in a cage and he's literally evil to Black Widow. They show right before the events of that show, a lot had happened to Loki. So if you follow the timeline of the MCU like they want you to, that specific Loki, you can literally go into the movies and see what happened to him about 5, 10, an hour, 2 hours, a couple days.
I mean, technically he is our Loki because they went back in time to the timeline to get whatever, but he is our Loki. He made a branch off of because he wasn't supposed to leave that timeline, but he is our Loki.
But my point is,
it's a variant of
once you take this into consideration, once you see where he was to where he ends up, that is a very short timeline to go from being a selfish, evil creature to I'll give up. It was a really short timeline.
Really it could have been eons. Time moves different there.
No. In the TVA, based on the whole way the scenario works, it's about a week's worth of stuff that we saw.
However, I think that him seeing his own death in episode 1 changed him, because he's basically caught up and basically it's almost like he has experienced everything that our real Loki has experienced up to the events of
he did get to
beginning of
see
Infinity
his
War.
conclusion. So you're saying
he saw
his
all those
conclusion
things.
changed him.
Right, because his face was never the same since that, right? Like he was still Loki trying to scheme and do things, and then he saw that, and Mobius kind of broke him down, right? Like it's not he and if you really look at Loki,
how long he was in that time loop for.
He was also in that time loop for a long time that Mobius put him in.
He could have been in there for years for all we know.
But again, I still think that he was changed even before that. And you have to look at why he wanted to take over. And I think that's why I thought the dialogue in the show was so great as a whole, why he wanted to take over the Earth, why he wanted something of his own, why he wanted to take over Asgard. Why, you know what I mean? Like,
Loki is a better leader than Thor would have ever been. Even when Loki went back and was taking Odin's place, he didn't kill everybody there. He even in the show, he was the one who was trying to save everybody. Sylvie was just like, F it and let everybody die because she's mad. Loki has always been.
Remember, Sylvie has been literally in this loop forever.
If it wasn't for Odin like fucking up his head as a kid, Loki would have been the best leader ever.
But I hear you on that. But that makes sense.
Odin being
I hear you on it, but it makes perfect sense because you can't compare Loki to Sylvie. Loki has had a full experience. He's had family. He's had hits. He did that. From what we heard from Sylvie, she's literally on the run since she was a little. You saw her since she was a little person, so she hasn't really developed anything besides that sense of revenge.
Do that dumb shit and create the multiverse.
Yeah, they should have pruned her.
That's what
they did. Prune her.
You're obviously the fuck up. So we need to kill you now at when you're a child, like how this one said. Why don't we go back, kill him when he's a baby? Thanos, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I mean, to be fair, when Thor came back, right, in the beginning of Ragnarok, like Asgard was doing good.
True.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, all he did was have a goofy play going on. That's it.
Loki just wanted to be loved, and he wanted to come back as a hero because everybody thought he was. But even still, he was a better king. Thor never wanted the responsibility. Thor was just there, like, nah, I want to go be with Jane.
Yeah, look what Thor's doing on the Asgard.
Get destroyed. Thor. Yeah. If Loki was in power, that shit wouldn't have happened. It's all Thor's fault.
Well, I mean, you could argue that
idiots.
You could argue that it's Loki's fault that Ragnarok happened because he let Odin go.
Fault. If Odin had just loved Loki and didn't treat him like the stepchild and been honest with him, he's the one who wanted to rule anyway. So let him rule instead of trying to give it to Thor, who didn't want it ever. And even when he got the responsibility, he let half the people die, and then he became a drunk and then gave it to this chick Valkyrie. Like, Thor's a fuck up.
All right, so we're getting off the rails. Let's get back to the Loki show.
Get back on the rails
itself.
I want to talk about that moment when they finally open the door and there's finally in front of he who remains. That's the part that really got me.
So I'm a huge Jonathan Majors fan. I think he's one of the I feel like he stole all of Yahya Abdul Mateen's thunder.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yahya Abdul Mateen was about to be the guy for a
potential.
Yeah. Right. And they only let in one black guy at a time. And it seems like Yahya is now the man of DC, right? Once they bring DC that back. Shit right now. Come on, cut it out. Yeah. Anyway, so the thing is, and they put him in that big ass helmet.
Let me ask you this question. This is what I want to ask you. This question, there, Mr. Everborn Saga. When you so let the record show. I spoiled it for this man, and I feel horrible about it because this was the afternoon time, and usually during the days of Loki, we watch it as quickly as possible because we know the internet's about to blow, right?
We know it's dudes like you out there spoiling it. That's why we got
shut your mouth. So this was around 12 in the afternoon, like 1, someone like that, and I started having conversations with the man, right? And I was actually what led to this conversation was the rumors of John Majors is huge breakout role.
Yes.
Come on, give me the show. HBO.
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country.
That's not
season
happening.
2. Yeah, which it wasn't happening. They said it's not happening, but then of course the man got all these. It hasn't been officially. Yeah, but we'll see.
No, it's officially not happening. HBO has said it, but
I know they said that. No, HBO said it a while ago.
Discovery, or HBO doesn't want a strong black male lead. That's fine. It's cool.
Stop it.
It's cool. I said it.
HBO said that a while ago, but a lot has happened since HBO said that, including like mad nominations for this man and this show. So we'll see is my point. All I'm saying is that's what basically came out of it, right? Emmy nominations. Yeah, 18 Emmy nominations. Amazing, right? So that's what led it to, well, why do you think it's not happening? Well, look at his nominations and look at all the star power he's bringing to the show. And that's when, he didn't know.
And in the face of all that, they turn into Steve Rogers and say, no, I don't think I will. But anyway.
So when he first opened the thing and you saw him like speak to them, what did you think?
I thought again, I need to preface this by how great of an actor I think he is, and
I think he's amazing.
Fan.
That's a level.
I think he was doing too much. You could tell he was doing a thing, and I didn't like it.
And I think you will, as the Kang character, develops,
fine, but
you didn't like
the acting performance.
Well, but that's my point.
I don't feel
that's my point. When you start seeing all the versions of Kang, because this is basically the equivalent of a voice actor. This is the equivalent of a voice actor about to do like 60 voices, all him. But you're gonna see, like, he's supposed to be like
his range,
different. Like, you're gonna be surprised.
Yeah, I'm only talking about his acting performance.
But that's the point. If all you saw was this flamboyant one, right? So I can see how it goes. Oh, I'm not too keen on that. But if you know all the variants of Kang to come.
Yeah, like
I know.
There will be
great, and there will be dark versions of him. There will be all these things. That's not what I'm saying.
I really thought this act was very exciting. He did something very unique with this, because this specific character in the comics is kind of it's written as humdrum. He's written as very academic. He's seen it all. He's done it all. He's very, very road weary from all the stuff that he knows. Like Jonathan Majors added if you're a guy who knows everything, it's boring, before a punch is thrown, you move.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that.
I know that the flamboyancy is
no, that's not it. That's not.
He's only like that because he's had a lot of time by himself. I don't think you guys are getting what I'm saying, man. He came to be that way. When he's just alone with his thoughts, and he just became all eccentric and shit like that. But that's not how he's going to be.
In the world of what they were doing, I completely understand that. He's gone mad, he's gone crazy with knowledge. I'm saying specifically as
Majors, you don't like
Jonathan Majors' specific portrayal of that version of Kang. I didn't like the thing that he was doing, because I could tell he was trying to do a thing. It didn't feel natural. The dialogue didn't roll out as natural to me. And that may be because I'm used to seeing Jonathan Majors in more serious roles.
That's right.
That could be it, so it could be on me.
Yeah, I think it is. But I think it's because you're used to seeing him in the Lovecraft country style, and I am too. I dig him that way, right? Even the Five Bloods, I'm used to seeing him that way. Serious brother.
Yes.
So seeing this aloof weirdness, I get that. I get
where you're very like a Willy Wonka. He was
very Willy Wonka.
Right, but as Willy Wonka,
I felt like because he's so powerful and him playing it this playful way, it's like to throw you off. Like you don't know what to make of him.
I really dug it.
And you expect him to be this all-powerful being, but then he's acting all goofy and shit like that. So they don't know how to take him. Should I take him?
You stab him, he dies, and he winks and smiles at you and goes, "See you soon." Yeah. Like it was some crazy stuff. Like I really enjoyed what he did there. Because I honestly don't think that stuff that he did was necessarily on the page. He performed what was on the page, but he added a little extra, and you didn't like that extra. I get that. I did. I thought it was very good, especially considering the fact, and the last comment says it right there. it will be better once you've seen all the other versions. Then you can judge it better, because I think him as an actor is trying to really define the various roles, and by putting it on, he can then like juxtapose that to the opposite of what he's going to eventually show you. So he had to put it on to give you that difference.
Yeah, I feel like they could have shown us more instead of all of this exposition. You know, like with the metal and then forming whatever. I would have liked to.
It was a whole. It was
and like you know how like say in this shit in Justice League, how they showed like the past war with the old gods and shit like that. Had them a scene like that.
You wanted them to show some visual representation.
This show was very anticlimactic because it was like 90% just dialogue. Only fighting we got was the fake.
Oh, this is the setup to the movie you're going to watch. That's all this is.
But then to end it like that, I expected to see more.
See, and this is why I was saying,
that's it, you know.
LeVar,
this was anticlimactic. For the last episode, it was kind of trash.
This is what I'm saying in terms
I like
of
what it's setting up, but as far as an episode for the whole thing, the last episode was more enjoyable.
This is what I'm saying in terms of fight choreography for these TV shows. It's not on the level of what you would get in a Black Widow or another bigger MCU movie, right? And you can see that right there in what you're talking about. But yes, it was a whole lot of let me explain my entire plan to you because the audience needs to know. Right?
That's what it is. That's what it is. It's the architect.
You expected more of a fight.
No, the architect had narrative purpose for that.
I get all of that, but it should have been half and half. It was too much exposition.
But see, the reason why you're saying this is different is because they put that scene in the middle of it. They put this at the end. The other stuff is coming, and since you haven't seen that, it makes that not good enough. Once you want, like, and that's a Marvel problem. I'll give you that. If let's say a season 2 was there, and that bookended it, and right after that you got to see further, then I think it would have landed better. Because they're letting people just sit with that architect scene, it seems like just a whole bunch of exposition, and then it was over. I get that.
Yeah, and I
enjoyed it.
A year and a half to see what happens.
But in the architect scene, you got all of those other action scenes before they gave and did that.
Yes, you did.
You didn't get that in this episode.
Now, but what I'm saying is a good comparison, though. There is a comparison to be made between that. There really is.
Watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. You got that fight shit at the last episode. In WandaVision, you got that shit at the last episode. We got
enough fights was as good as the fights in Black Widow. But I just want to just run down because do you remember The Last Black Man in San Francisco or Captive State, or obviously, like you said, The Five Bloods, or White Boy Rick, or Hostiles? Like that's why I say, like, I'm a huge fan of Jonathan Majors, and again, he's stretching the acting muscles. Yeah. I just didn't buy Jonathan Majors as a Willy Wonka type character. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let the judgment be out there for a while. Let him. I hear you, and based on his material that brings you to him, I completely understand that you'd be like, but all I'm saying is, let him surprise you. I'm cautiously optimistic that when this is all said and done, you will be floored. Like who's the chick that played in Amazon had this TV show for a long time, and she used to play clones of herself, multiple clones of herself.
Oh yeah. She's playing.
She's gonna play She-Hulk now. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of the show, but I know what you're talking about.
Tour de force. You are just like, wow. She convinces you she is multiple characters, like fully, and it's all her. I have a feeling that's where he's going with this because the Kang character requires that. You know what I'm saying? And some of them are so different. Quick example. You see that remember we gave you that tidbit that the what do you call it? Stark Tower was bought by Kang. Remember that?
Yes.
That's a completely different Kang. That Kang is like a normal dude, just a dude who just happens to, like, he started a business in like the 1800s. Like, the internet should not take my timing literal.
And he just kept going on as
that's right, and keeps giving his money to his heirs. That's right. He's got no power. He's just a rich Batman mother effer who just keeps giving money to himself and getting richer and richer and richer.
Baby.
That's right. He's the one. He's super businessman guy. He's the one that bought that. And he has nothing to do with any of these other ones. There are so many versions of him. And Jonathan Majors is going to have to play that really well and like not distance themselves from all the other versions, it's going to be a tour de force.
I do think that there is a risk that, and I mean, you got to take risks, right? Risk,
of course, yeah.
Rewards or whatever. But I do think there's a risk because if you were like reading comics in the, you know, the 90s or whatever, like there was this time where they started doing all of this multiverse and different versions of stuff and all of that. And there was just so many different series and they were doing all the variant covers and you had to get the foil covers and all of that stuff. And the whole comics market imploded, right? Because there was so much of it. Right.
Well, but but hold on. There was so many different versions at that time.
Todd McFarlane killed the comic book industry by starting Image Comics, and then all the good artists went to Image, and then it was just there like they didn't know what to do.
No, but that's different than what he's saying right now. What he's saying right now is because there was because the multiverse came, right,
and it confused
the consumer. There was no one path to go on. There was just so many variants. But what I think, and I hear you, and it is a genuine concern, but I suspect what's happening right now is Feige is being very like selective in what he's picking, because look at what he's done so far. He combined Sylvie and Loki, and it makes a perfect character. He's making strategic moves. He's picking from the deck. He's not just going to give all of that to you because, like you said, it'll flood the zone and it'll be too confusing. He's just picking pieces, and there may be, I suspect there may be shows that you will see in the future, or even movies that you'll see in the future with multiple Kangs in it, but they'll be very strategic in how they thread that needle. I don't think they're going to let what happened to the comic books happen to the shows.
Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah,
Right. So they shouldn't give that to Peyton Reed, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm worried about that. That's too big for
No, I'm saying I haven't been a fan of the Ant-Man movies, so to speak, and I feel like that's going to
set it up. That's going to make you like it. You didn't like the Thor movies either until the third one.
But they changed the directors, right? They went to Taika Waititi. It's still Peyton Reed on this Ant-Man thing.
Yeah,
hey man, maybe they're closely supervising him to make sure that
somebody better be closely supervising them. They need to get Marcus and McFeely back to write these things.
Mr. McFeely.
Now, okay, so let's okay, so see, we know season 2 is coming if you watch the after the credits scene,
100%, yeah.
right? We know it's a big exposition episode. It was all set up, and it kind of really leans hard into what's coming for Multiverse of Madness, or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or Quantumania.
Before we move on from Kang, one last thing: Iron Lad. Have y'all heard of Iron Lad?
Yes, it is a version of Kang that didn't want to be a bad guy.
And he'll be in the Young Avengers. So you'll see that too. Now, the question is, who will play that one? Because it can't be him. It can't be John Majors. It has to be part of the Young Avengers.
If Kang is truly a descendant of Reed Richards, is Reed Richards going to be black now?
That's the question.
What version of Reed Richards is he a descendant of? Because it could be another version where in that world Reed Richards is black. And this is the problem with this multiverse stuff. It's like nothing matters.
Yeah,
nothing. Like
I hear you. But here's the question.
Nothing does matter, Steve.
But here's the thing, though. They've already telegraphed that all the variants of Kang will still be John Majors. And if you really want to make the multiverse not matter, make multiple versions of Kang different colors.
That? When did they telegraph that?
Oh no,
we just saw 8 different versions of Loki. Why can't there be the different versions of Kang look different?
Every single show or movie we've seen Jonathan Majors signed up for, and he's Kang in all those other movies. So how are they going to make other versions? He is going to be that version. Versions of Kang, but
he better not negotiate too hard on his contract, because Kevin Feige could be like, it's another version of you in this movie.
Because there's a multiverse.
All of a sudden, what's his name? Come on, Hustle and Flow dude shows up.
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Because there's a multiverse, anytime they want to reboot any character, they could just recast them.
Yeah, of course, and that's the reason why I think Scarlett Johansson could come back if she wanted to, but.
I heard.
I'll pay somebody less.
But this is what I'm saying. I heard Kevin Feige's no longer doing these big multi-picture deals because the people try to negotiate too hard, and they have all this leverage now. So it's like, You could try to get this
after the second or the third film. You can't replace them. You know.
Do you really want to argue with us? Because we could just say you somebody else.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Right. One from a different universe.
That's it. Yeah.
No, I think Marvel is back, man. Even through all the weirdness and this and that, this was great. You know, I'm super excited to see what comes next. You know, hey, bring on Ironheart. That's what I want. I want Ironheart. Bring that to me.
What do you think season 2 is going to focus on? And does it come out before all of these other Doctor Stranges and Ant-Mans and Spider-Mans?
That's a good question. I don't know. I would think it would. Do we know if they filmed both of them already? Is season 2 already done, or are they still going to film
it? No, they haven't filmed that yet. I didn't even start filming that yet.
So that's weird, then, because does that mean that season 2 will come after the events of all stuff, or will they still fall? Will be the?
But that's what I'm saying.
What if is next?
You have and what if is now? It's not a random anthology. It's like a multiverse thing.
Yeah, now it's
right?
canon. So, it's within. It's the next one. Yeah.
And so from there, okay. Let me move on to the next topic, right? Because this kind of is a part of this, and this is why I think this is super important and why Loki matters in the MCU way more than Black Widow, which is kind of unfortunate.
Black Widow doesn't matter at all. She's already dead.
Yeah, but and
she has no superpowers. What the hell is she gonna do?
I don't need superpowers in every movie, but we're not gonna argue about that today. We're not gonna argue about that tonight, sir.
Nothing to do with nothing in the grander scheme of anything.
They just did it.
She's there to pose, dude.
You know why it's there?
Butt shots, the obligatory butt shot for no reason.
You know why
they did do her dirty a little bit. Even in this movie, they did.
I'm going to tell you why they made this movie, right?
Why?
It is for Disney Plus. No. Forget about setting up pew pew pew. Feeling pew 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 pew. When you watch this later on, when our kids watch this who didn't see this chronologically in the theaters, that's just going to be there, and they're going to watch this after Civil War, and it's going to make sense.
I want to go do that. And I want to do that.
They're building out that catalog for the new people that come on 5-10 years from now.
I want to watch it, not how it was released, but how they filmed it.
That's an option to watch it like that in Disney Plus. So I think,
but they don't have everything. They don't have Agent Carter and all those other pieces that
that's because they don't want that in there stinking things up. But anyway,
no, but that was a great show to the point where it's even coming back. So stop the slander.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking
Carter's coming back.
Shield.
No, Agent Carter.
Yeah. Agent Carter was cool the first season, but Marcus and McFeely wrote that. The writers of Civil War and Endgame and Infinity War. So anytime you see
one episode of Agent Carter.
It was way better than it was way better
than it needed to be. It was really good.
Well, better than most of the Netflix MCU shows.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got good only when everybody stopped watching it. Like at the later seasons when it started mattering to the MCU, because at some point they started actually taking reference from the MCU like really hard. Then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got good, but by then nobody was watching it. You know, back when people were watching it, it was really stupid and crappy and they put the worst foot forward first, so nobody's ever going to be able to do that again.
Oh, OGTK Cole says they want to use Zac Efron to play Adam Warlock.
Are you kidding me?
Nah, you know who I would give Adam Warlock? Henry Cavill.
Yeah, well, no, but if you're talking about his physicality, if you're talking about his physicality, Zac Efron has come a long way. That man is he's ready for it.
He's too short for it.
Yeah, but come on now. How many short actors do you know that look huge on screen?
I hear you, but Adam Warlock, Henry Cavill, that's the one. You don't even got to look no more.
I like Henry Cavill, but I don't think Henry Cavill would work.
Since he's gotten older.
Say again.
No. He's people want him to play Wolverine.
He's big now.
Put some hair on his chest.
Yeah. He really did put some hair on his chest. Literally, the man is like he took some time away and he came back real diesel. So
he's not all high school.
Oh, they signed him on already. That's interesting. I didn't know this. I have to look this up.
Awesome.
I have to look
your shit together, Steve.
Hey man, you learn something new every day.
It's a beautiful thing. That's right.
Okay,
that's why we bring him on.
So now I want to talk about where this could potentially lead, right? So what do we think What we know, the first one that's going to address this multiverse stuff is No Way Home, right?
Is that the next movie?
No, the next movie is Shang-Chi. Then after that, you have Eternals, and then after you have in December, you have.
Tell me Eternals is
No
not
Way
going to
Home.
address any multiverse stuff at all. That's weird.
Why, they don't have to.
They are Eternals. Like you would think they would have that skill set. I mean,
swore never to get involved, even though they've been getting involved the entire time and
the whole time.
Right. Mag says we need a Ghost Rider and Blade team up movie.
Yep.
No, not until you bring in Wolverine and Punisher.
Yeah,
and you do that the right way.
Yeah.
But my question is, who would play Ghost Rider?
Doesn't matter.
Obviously.
I bring back Nick Cage.
I was going to say, bring back Nick Cage. That's what I was about to say.
Let him flame on the whole time. He ain't even got to turn back to Johnny Blaze.
Come on, bring back Nick Cage. That's what I want.
Shit more John Blaze than that.
That's right.
Those comics, when he teamed up, he never turned back into Johnny Blaze. He was always Ghost Rider.
Come on, his stuff is real John Blaze.
Hearts of Darkness or whatever, he was Ghost Rider the whole time.
Listen, I think Phase 4, you're dealing with this multiverse stuff, which this is what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. I think this is ultimately leading to a Secret Wars adaptation, not mutants.
Sure.
Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about 2015 Secret Wars, where they had Battle World and they had all the different sort of universes or timelines in the case of the MCU, and they were all folded into each other. And so this is where you had Peter Parker, who was dead in Miles Morales' universe, but meet Peter Parker of 616, and now they're in the same universe. Yep. And for some reason, Miles Morales still has the Spider-Man name, but we're not going to talk about that tonight.
Well, but see, honestly, if they do that, what you're saying, and you're right, that will lead to a lot of confusion. They're going to have to take a lot of liberties. They're going to have to do a lot of creative editing, because in the comic book space, they can keep it as complicated as all that, and we like it. You follow the threads and all of that, right?
Yeah, but he's not too old. That's what CG is for. What do you mean? You're never really going to see him.
The age Nick Cage.
But I guess what I'm saying is you
got to age him up, because he'll have the skeleton, or maybe you don't need makeup for the skeleton face. I'm just saying.
He's just who he is, right? No, but I guess my point I'm making is, if you do follow that Secret Wars
was
formula,
not already announced. Hold on.
No, I don't think so.
It was not announced.
I think a lot of popular insiders are claiming that's where it's going, because they've heard things, but it hasn't been officially announced.
It's super going there after they introduced the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, so let's talk about.
But they're gonna have to thread the. Look at Civil War.
They're gonna thread the needle. They're gonna introduce.
Did you guys ever read the Civil War comic book?
But it's coming. That's the next event in the next 5 to 10 years. Not even maybe not that long, but definitely in the next 5 years, I think we see a Civil War.
Which Civil War? Are we talking about Civil War or Civil War 2?
Civil War 1. Like
Civil War 1. Yes.
Do you see
that's where Spider-Man unveiled that he was Peter Parker? Yes. And I thought they were going to do that at the end of the first Spider-Man.
Yeah, but they did.
And they did a play on that in Iron Man 1.
Yeah. So it seems like Kevin Feige took a bit of one and a bit of two and kind of combined and made his own Civil War movie, right? But you see how he did that, right? The comics were far more intricate, and he streamlined it, dumbed it down, if you will, and made it work for the film, right? That's what he did. I can see him do that with Secret War. He's not going to keep that continuity all crazy, because it's too much. Like you said, it will confuse the audience.
So here's the thing. I think if you get to a Secret Wars, I don't think it's a thing where it's just an Avengers thing. Like it's gonna be like Avengers 7 for them to do that, right? Like it's gonna be like another trilogy of Avengers movies before you get to Secret Wars, and they're gonna build threads.
Then what do you think? What do you think the next big Avengers film will be? Like, because there always is one.
It could be Civil War 2, right? Because Civil War 2 was basically like not the Arcadia Accords. It was like Captain Marvel versus Iron Man or something like that. And
that's what happened.
They were like young. No, but Civil War 1 was actually Captain America versus Iron Man. But I'm saying in Civil War 2, in the comics, they were basically saying like the young people, you had to be like 21 before you could fight crime or something like that, right? So if we know that a Young Avengers show is coming,
it's coming.
You can evolve from there into your Civil War too. But maybe they want to wait.
What about the Dark Avengers? What about that idea of the Thunderbolts? Those are also slowly working out. It seems like two things are happening in parallel. There's this multiverse thing, which is very valid, right? We see it happening, but we also see like Thunderbolt Ross over here, and we see the DeFontaine group being gathered. That has nothing to do with the multiverse. It seems like they're
the man who got them horns is correct. Secret Invasion is the one that's coming. That's the Disney Plus show with Monica Rambeau and Nick Fury.
Yep. And Sword and all that.
But I think that they are going to basically use No Way Home and Quantumania and Multiverse of Madness and wrap all this stuff up. And in Multiverse of Madness, you will have your single timeline again.
When it's all said and done. Now the question is, do you think that when the Multiverse of Madness ends, and because obviously we all know they're going to reset everything, and that when it's said and done, new characters will be introduced, old characters will go away. They're basically setting up new actors, fresh blood to continue down the line. Do you think that when that happens?
And after they do their Secret Wars run or their version of it, that is when you can get a new, younger version of Iron Man and Captain America and whatever, and just say they came from other universes, and you're continuing your continuity.
Yeah. No, I can see that. That's true.
So you have all of that, right? But what I want to talk about is the idea that with this multiverse, everything's canon. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, the Venomverse, whatever, Morbius, all the X-Men movies, all of those have now.
How do they thread that needle then? How do they thread because that is that right there, monstrous undertaking.
They've been slowly training us. The event in Endgame did $3 billion in business or close to it, right? True. Everybody saw that. Everyone knows a multiverse exists, right? Just because of that. Everyone knows there's something in the timeline and it got changed because of Loki, right? So slowly but surely, Spider-Man No Way Home is going to make $1 billion. Slowly but surely, they are teaching us. They're teaching us little by little they're training us to understand what the multiverse is, right? So by the time we get to it, we should all be up to speed on there's different versions of this, and they have to basically, you need the TVA because it's going to get too confusing for the audience. It's going to be chaos. So
that's where that's where my brain is headed with all this, because I hear you on that. But the problem is, by the time we get there and they're training the audience, it'll be like, how many people in tights are there in this damn universe? They're everywhere. Like, it's not even special anymore when you see them.
Than heroes, right?
Yeah, but there are more superheroes than normal men walking around. Like,
now here's the thing. We have Eternals coming, and we have Thor: Love and Thunder coming, right? Now, Thor: Love and Thunder has cast what's his name, Christian Bale, and he's supposed to be playing that God Killer dude. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. I know.
But in the comics, that God Killer dude carries a black sword, right? And that sword is supposed to be not just a sword, but it's also, it can change shapes into whatever kind of weapon he wants it to be, right? Okay. And the sword is also sentient, so it has a mind of its own. Do you see where I'm going with this?
The God Butcher, yes.
Right. Yep. So if we're talking about a black object that is amorphous, that can change into any shape and has its own mind, doesn't that sound a little bit like a symbiote?
What, you're trying to say they're going to thread the needle and make that sword turn into like Venom?
Or not Venom himself, but from Venom's home planet, right? And then,
wouldn't that piss people off though? Because that's really out the box.
But they did it in the comics. In the comics, they were from the same. No. I'm saying that's what they did with that sword. I'm saying Kevin Feige can put those things together.
No, I get that.
Say that. But in the comics, if you read the Venom comics today, right? So Courtney's bringing it up. Yes, the sword comes from Null.
No, yeah,
right. But in the comics, they're saying that on Venom's planet, they did this whole run recently, which I only know of it because I've seen some covers. I haven't read it, but from what I've heard,
need to do movies on that.
Right. So can you tell us a little bit about that Venom, the stuff going on in the Venom? Because you know a little bit more about it than me.
I don't know much about it. I've watched comic books explained with the whole Null thing. It's something to do with Venom, and he has a son, and like his wife, and like anti-Venom, and she's like Agent Venom. It's a bunch of stuff.
But on the planet, right? That sort of God killer weapon, Null, could be a connection to Sony's Spider-Man,
and that's where what you're saying, I can see that, but I think people would really get pissed. I mean, look what the people are doing to Taskmaster situation. You're gonna out of whole cloth create a different origin story for Venom. People will not be happy with that. I don't think Feige would do that.
That whole run in the comics is a retcon of what Venom is, right? So like they do those retcons and origins all the time. So
I get that they do those retcons all the time, but it seems like in the MCU, fans seem to judge. They give Feige only so much room that you can change things, but not too, like, look at what they're doing with Taskmaster. I think it was perfect, but there are many out there going, but actually, and I think this was a very slight change. What you're describing would be a bigger change, like almost monumental.
I'm not saying like that's what it is. I'm saying
that's what they could do.
That's what they could do, because
and what I'm trying to tell you is if they did
nobody
that,
right now, like no normies, first of all, including me, right? But no normies really know who Null is, and they don't know about the Necro Sword. I'm just saying, if the all-black Necro Sword does what it does and it is sentient, that's a thing that Kevin Feige could put together in the MCU.
Okay. And as OG says, and I agree with him, I hope not, because that would be a far reach and a lot of people would not be happy about it. Even this small Taskmaster thing is causing so much consternation. If you do that, it'd be, you can do the Null Sword and all that. Keep it its own thing, but to thread that needle, I don't know. But then again, he's proven to be successful in the past with things we were convinced he wouldn't be. So I will cut him some slack, but
I think everybody's gonna fall in love with Taskmaster now. So the other thing is like, okay, does Spider-Man have to go to another universe to see in No Way Home to link up with Venom, or do they not even touch Venom in No Way Home, and it is just him meeting Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield?
Oh, I think there's no Venom in No Way Home. I don't think there's any Venom in No Way Home.
Well, let me ask you.
I think it'll just be a reference.
Let me ask you another question then.
Even a scene just to show that there's multiverses?
No,
I don't.
But they are going to show you that with the older
Feige doesn't. Timelines. He could
Sony wants it. Feige does not.
They could show him in an after credit scene.
Yeah, but that's would Kevin Feige allow that? Would Kevin Feige allow Venom to stink up the MCU?
It's all about Sony's benefit. Feige gets no benefit from adding Venom to the MCU. I don't think Feige would allow that.
Now,
unless he adds that, and the secret deal in the back room is, okay, we give you this. This sets you up on your path of your verse, and then we get Miles.
We're forgetting about the Morbius movie and all of this other stuff that they got coming.
If they're doing some kind of backroom deal, like we'll let you introduce Venom into our verse, if that means then we get to keep Miles or something like that.
The whole fact that they can, let me say this. The whole fact that they can say that there's a multiverse, they could be like, oh, all this other stuff happens in the universe that's trash. It has nothing to do with our universe.
No,
That's that universe over there. It's canon, but in that trash universe.
Remember, they still kind of need Sony though, so they can't trash their universe.
They don't have to say that,
they
but
have
I'm
to
just
keep
saying
them
it's
at
all
arm's length,
but in a different universe. But it's still connected.
If I'm Sony, right?
It's all canon.
If I'm Sony and I'm Kevin Feige, I'm saying, look,
the mag, Sony's gonna put Venom behind a DLC paywall. Damn right.
No. But if I'm Sony and Kevin Feige, I'm saying, look, we've established $1 billion Spider-Man, right?
Yes,
cool.
Yes.
You want someone as big as that? Sony, you take Miles Morales and put Miles Morales in your Venomverse, because I don't think Kevin Feige.
Tobey Maguire, what do you call
Tom Holland. I think because they built that character up already. Why are they going to start from scratch with another character?
Because Sony owns them. So you'll give him the character you built him only if they get to keep the rights to the new one. Because they can rebuild the new one.
Sony's not giving up no rights. There's no rights.
I'm not saying they're giving him. No. Listen carefully. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is right now, today, every time you see a Spider-Man movie that's in the MCU, that is Sony working with Disney to allow that, right? Sony has like complete control on most of that, but they obviously defer to Feige because Feige saved their butt because their movies were crap until Feige came in and joined. But at the end of the day, they have more. There are more cooks in that kitchen.
And they made almost $1 billion with Venom.
No, I get it. Let me get my point. Let me get my point. There are many cooks in the kitchen, and we all know that through all the reports and everything else, the only person in the room that wants to make the decision and frankly should make the decision is Feige. This relationship with Spider-Man is only there because he needs Spider-Man. That's a character that's been built. And then, of course, as soon as he was at his hilt, Sony went, oh, yeah? Well, if you don't give us more, we're taking our money and going home. It became a whole thing, right? So at this point, business-wise, you would think, you know what? I don't want to deal with Sony and this stuff anymore, even though they still own the rights to the character. So I will give them Tom Holland. They've built him up. It's great. Go have your Spider-Man. It's wonderful. Give us Miles Morales. That way, you still own him, but we get to decide how we build him up.
Yeah, let me stop you right there.
Continue.
Right? I think that the very act of Tom Holland showing up in the Venomverse connects the universes, even if they're not connected.
Is he going to join the Venomverse?
No, you cannot. But you can't say I'm giving you back the character that we built up and put in the MCU so that you can give us another character.
No, but listen,
put in the MCU, and then you're going to put the character that we built in your trash universe. Why would he do that? That doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense because at the end of the day,
that doesn't mean
it makes sense. It makes sense because at the end of the day, all of the movie rights still belong to Sony. So you need them, and you don't want to work with them.
What does that have to do
with? They want.
But what you're not.
Listen, I don't think you understand where I'm coming from. All they had Garfield, didn't work out. They had all these others, they didn't work out. Then with the help of Feige, Tom Holland took it there, right? All that Sony wants is a successful Spider-Man franchise. They've been trying forever. They keep replacing the characters.
Venom made $900 million. That's a success.
Yes, that's different. But the Spider-Man character,
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, won an Oscar.
Animated. How many times did they try the standard Spider-Man formula?
So what I'm saying is they can have their cake and eat it too. By bringing a live-action Miles Morales into their Venomverse, and they can do their Venom versus Spider-Man movie.
Let's see,
you can let the people have what they want, which is a Spider-Man in the
MCU. But you know what? There's no benefit to Sony doing that. None.
There's every benefit. They're collecting the MCU money. The Spider-Man brand continues to soar.
If all they cared about the MCU money, if all they cared about was the MCU money, they would have literally just been like, y'all take care of the whole thing. We'll just collect the check. They really want control over Spider-Man. That's why they almost took their ball
but they realized they couldn't because of the fan backlash and people would have boycotted.
And that's the reason why.
If you take Tom Holland out of the MCU to bring him into your universe,
you wouldn't be taking him out of the MCU. It would just be a Spider-Man movie like you see, and you'd maybe fight the Sinister Six or something like that, and it would just be Tom Holland. You know, all of the established narrative would still exist. You could still be in that universe. It's just it would be a Sony controlled verse instead of a.
Then
Disney
you're not in the
verse.
MCU because Kevin Feige's not going to allow you to make decisions in his universe. But I don't want to get on to because we're going to go back and forth on that. I do want to answer the OG's questions. What do we think of Mahershala Ali playing Blade? I think I don't have a problem with it. I think he's not that much younger than Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. So they're better. And I'm putting the gauntlet down now. I better see Wesley Snipes in whatever Blade movie comes out with Mahershala Ali. If I don't, I'll be very upset.
He better be the Whistler character.
That's what I was going to say,
or something like that. If he's not,
it's like this. Wesley Snipes is a martial artist. I have not seen Mahershala Ali prove that he can do what Wesley can do.
Well, but then again, also Wesley Snipes was not a martial artist until Blade. Blade made him a martial artist.
He was already training in martial arts before Blade.
Well, but what
he produced that movie?
No, I understand that, but I'm saying it seemed to me, and I could be wrong. It seemed like he knowing that Blade was going to be what it became is what he started training towards. Blade made him turn into that character. Am I wrong?
Turn into that character is one thing, but being a martial artist and studying capoeira, so did for a very long time.
For a while.
Wasn't he trying to make like Black Panther first?
He was.
Oh yeah, yes. You're right. I do remember that. Okay, so I was mistaken. Never mind. So if that's the case, then what do we know about Mahershala Ali as far as his fighting ability? I've never seen him do
nothing.
that.
I ain't seen nothing where he showed fighting.
But then again, come on, we're in a new world. And Luke Cage. In the age of Blade, he needed to be a martial artist. In today's age, he can be a scrub and look really good doing it because.
Well, let me. No, you don't need CG because look at what they did for The Matrix with Lawrence Fishburne.
That's right.
If you have enough time, you can film any action scene because it's ultimately a dance.
That's
right. And
it's all about the choreography and making
it believable. Right. But all that choreography is time that it takes. They have to keep doing it over and over and remember the body movements and do it. And that don't make you a real martial artist, but you can look good enough.
But you can look good enough doing
it. And that's what they did for The Matrix. So they can do it. Right.
It's so like I'm been an action star. And doing action like Mahershala Ali
needs to be in the movie.
A lot of action.
He needs to be in the movie, and he needs to be respected. That's all I care about. I think Mahershala Ali is a great actor. I think he's going to elevate this whole situation.
Let me ask you a question. I do, and I agree with that. I think he's the great choice.
Essential replacement for
Blade. Right. If you can't recast Wesley Snipes, which you could have, but since you're not doing that. Because you could have recast Wesley Snipes and just focused on his daughter and training up his daughter like they did in the comics, but you're not going to do that, right?
That's fine.
But you're casting Blade, and Mahershala Ali is like 45 years old, right?
Yep.
So I'm saying that like it's old, like it's not 5 years older than me, but we're not talking about that.
That's neither here nor there, my friend. Yeah.
But the point is, what if I think Mahershala Ali will class up the joint,
indeed,
very seriously, and I think his presence on screen mixed with
every time he's on
magic
screen,
of but I'm saying you mix that with the magic of the MCU, and we could have another Chadwick Boseman type of sort of screen presence. Commanding scenes and taking the MCU to another level in terms of performances, right? It's not going to be rated R.
It's not going to be rated R. But then again, these
Kevin
days,
Feige and I quote said it's not going to be rated R. It's going to be PG-13, and you're going to love it. He said that when he announced it.
Right.
However, and it don't need to be rated R, and I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Yeah, I agree.
PG-13 today is a lot different than PG-13 in the 90s. You can do anything. Listen, if the vampires are like monster-like, you can do anything to CG creatures. Cut heads off.
They're just going to turn to dust and fire.
Exactly. You can do anything. It don't need to be what you call it, unless you need to see titties and hear F-bombs. Like
what OGTK just said is absolutely right. The very last statement he did was very, very right. Even though you can tell there's a little bit of weird blood there. There's a little bit of bad blood between how it used to be, but he is supportive of Mahershala. But what do you think about this idea? What happens?
Hold on 1 second. I want to see if he's not Whistler. I think it would be a great idea to put Wesley Snipes in it as the villain.
Okay, yeah. A Deacon Frost replacement. Let's keep it moving.
But go ahead.
Here's my question.
Make your point.
What happens if he is not in it at all? I would be very upset.
That's a miss. However, the problem is right now, if you want to be in the MCU, you got to kind of completely play ball. And I don't think Wesley Snipes is he's not with the shits. So I don't think he's gonna like do whatever they tell him to do. And he might
that creative control.
Not only that, right? Like he might just say like, he might have like say some hot shit that they don't want him to say. And if they don't feel like he can be controlled,
don't judge it based on the old Snipes when he was hot. Like he has fallen dramatically and he knows it. So I suspect if they gave him the opportunity, he would take it and run with it. I just don't know they'll give him the opportunity. And I think it's a travesty if they don't.
They need to put him in there, but I think Kevin Feige may look at him as a liability.
That's right. Even though I agree with you that he could be a liability, Kevin Feige knows where his bread is buttered. And his bread is buttered with the fans. And if you put OG Blade, who arguably made the first real worthy comic book movie, and you don't put him in there, I think that'd be disrespectful, and people would really like have a problem with that. Because Blade to this day is still known as like obviously Coke bottle glasses and all that, but it's still known as a very classic and well-deserved film. I
will say this: you do not get a lot of people credit what you have in the MCU today to what Bryan Singer's X-Men and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man did. But I don't think you get to X-Men unless you had Blade. I think exactly. Blade comes out that tells us, yes, we can make the black leather superheroes. Yeah. So let's do X-Men. And then you do X-Men, and then that says, oh, X-Men works, we can do Spider-Man. And I know they started a little sooner, but like just to take it over the finish line. And so if Blade leads to X-Men and X-Men leads to Spider-Man and Spider-Man leads to the MCU, you all have to give that credit back to where it started.
Exactly. And Feige knows this. Feige knows this. You know, this is not he's not just a character. The reason why Wesley can be, and let's be clear, yes, he may not be a Marvel's guy, but when Marvel rolls around giving you the opportunity to put you back on that pedestal that you really want to be, you'll play ball. You'll play ball. You know, I think he'll play ball. You know, it just has to be a worthy character.
Everybody wants that action figure money, bro.
You know what? I actually agree with Mag here. I do. He would be very distracting in the movie because if I see Wesley Snipes in a new Blade movie, I don't take Mahershala Ali seriously no more, and they don't want that.
Blade.
Right?
What if they age him up? What if they
don't matter? It don't matter. He will steal the show because you will say that's the real Blade. And you honestly, as much as I want to see him, now that Mag put that in my head, you can't put him in the movie.
Yeah,
okay. He can't be in the movie. That's it.
Can I say this though?
God damn it!
And this new Candyman, Tony Todd is still Candyman, but this other dude is Candyman.
So exactly. I'm not gonna respect the new Candyman.
Oh, come on.
No, but it's like a passing of the torch.
You can do that. That's right. Why does it got to be like that?
Be done.
It's done in action movies all the time. Do you know how many movies? I saw movies where Schwarzenegger literally passed the torch to The Rock. Have you seen that? I've seen a few movies like that where they're in the, what was that? The Rundown. You ever see The Rock's The Rundown? They're in the movie.
They just have to let Wesley die in the movie.
Something. Yeah. Like pass the torch. And then, but you got to give him some credit.
How'd that work out for Star Wars?
Oh, stop with the Star Wars. Come on. Anyway, Star Wars is the beginning of all slander talk. Let's keep it moving.
So that's the Blade talk. Thank you for that question. And thank you for that point that you made, because now you made me realize, Mag, that we can't have Wesley.
You know what, Mag? I'm going to try. I'm going to unsee that, because come on,
you can't unsee it.
I want to die on this square. I need to see this man in this movie. He needs to be respected. Now he's done too much for comic book movies to just like move him out the way like that.
So I think we're gonna get a Young Avengers maybe TV show. It feels like they're setting that up. I think we'll get a Civil War 2, right? And that'll be with the new Hawkeye and whoever Isaiah Bradley's nephew is going to turn into, and the new Hawkeye's Kate Bishop, right? And then you're going to have Miss Marvel. And
Miss
all
Marvel.
of them they're gonna grow them up in front of your eyes, and they're gonna make you love them like you love the original Avengers.
There's Ironheart that's also been announced, and I did catch that. Yes, Ironheart has already been announced, so that's the black female Iron Man,
Riri Williams.
Riri Williams, that's right.
Jesus,
I would love to see where this goes. I don't know.
But so
I like the idea, but the execution, we'll see.
Right now, I think Phase 4 will be all about. Oh, another thing, if we are going to Secret Wars, isn't that the perfect place to bring in the Fantastic Four? Don't they have to be a part of it? Because Battle World was run by Dr. Doom, and that was when Black Panther had the Infinity Gauntlet, and he was King of the Dead.
But you see what's going on? There's the comic book stuff that Kevin Feige spends a lot of time stripping out. You can't. Oh, but then you got to bring then Dr. Doom. Then it gets too complicated too quickly, and he's not about that. He's about the average consumer. Why do you think it's $1 billion franchise? Not everybody follows those tentacles. We do. They don't. So it may take some of that, but I doubt it'll be that whole stew. I don't think so.
Okay, LeVar, what's up? What's up, Mr. Johnson?
Do you think the what if thing will play into this whole multiverse thing?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
It's not just what if this is actually happening because
it is actually happening.
Yes.
And Chris Judge is playing T'Challa, and I don't know how I feel about that. His voice is great. Accent's gonna piss me off.
Okay, wait, hold on. This is something I actually wanted to bring up. Right?
T'Challa? I thought they said
no.
Actually did the voice in it.
From God of War.
I heard that Chadwick actually did the voice on the What If show.
There are some of Chadwick's voice, but it's not like, obviously they did reshoots, they did a lot of stuff. His voice, I don't know if they will do half and half. I doubt that. They probably will just do all Chris Judge. I suspect this might be a situation of a director's cut or some
they did say that it will be the final performance that you hear of Chadwick. They had said that before the show came out. So
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And they today announced that Chris Judge is playing T'Challa, and Chris Judge didn't want to do it because he felt that it would be disrespectful to Chadwick. But he said at least in the article, he said that his mom and his kid would disown him if he didn't do it. So there you go. So
now OG says another thing, that Fantastic Four is announced to be happening at the end of Phase 4. However, I just want to bring something to everyone's attention, because I don't know if they were, and this is what he's going by. So I'm going to share my screen and show you what he's talking about, right?
Okay.
So,
while you do that, quick correction. As Mag pointed out, and he's correct. I don't want to throw mistakes out on the internet. The Black Panther character he's playing will be the video game in the Avengers.
Yes.
In the What If, it will still be T'Challa. It will still be. You will hear him in that. But the video game that's coming up right after that will be Chris Judge.
Now this says a 4, and this was for Phase 4.
And it had the little shield in the background.
Oh, that's the point I'm coming to.
Yeah.
We all think that this is when they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four at the end of Phase 4. However, they also announced a Captain America 4.
Yeah,
what does it look like behind this thing?
That's what it is.
That's a shield. It could be a shield with a 4 in the front. Maybe that's not even Fantastic Four.
They've already announced that Captain America 4 is coming.
Yeah, but what is this image? Was this image in reference to Fantastic Four or Captain America 4?
Also, what you're showing is a still image. When it's moving, it looks like the shield. It zooms like the shield. It looks like it. So when I saw that, I was like, that looks like Captain America 4. I don't understand why people are getting that whole. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, he says he's referring to Comic-Con when they said it. No, they definitely said it was coming. I'm not saying they didn't say it was coming. I'm saying when they showed all of the JPEGs for the movies that were coming, was this image that everyone thought was Fantastic Four in reference to Captain America 4, Or
when this came out, during the time when this came out, if you see this in action, you see it in motion when it shows up, it looks like the Shield. This still image can be either or. I get you, but if you see it in action, it looks more like the Shield. And I thought that's what I thought.
I think it's
definitely coming.
Ambiguous.
Oh yeah, we know it's coming.
Kevin Feige said it was coming. They announced that it was coming.
We know.
I'm saying, is it a part of Phase 4 or is it Phase 5 along with the X-Men? And
people are thinking it's Phase 4 because of this. They might be wrong.
That way and Mecha X. Why? You see, it's not like a clean cut 4. Why do they Mecha X?
What are you talking?
You think that's
it also, if you look at it backwards, it's also Avengers, the A.
Yeah,
that's why it makes the
X.
I think
it's
a little bit of Avengers.
That he made
if you're looking at it and twist your eyes, it's an A. It's basically the Avengers
It's also
Tower
an A. It's an X. It's a 4. It could be so many things. But
I hear the question you're asking of Aborn, and it's a very righteous question because although it's been announced, we know that,
and that's it's going to have the Spider-Man director because John Watts.
We know all of that. Spider-Man. But the question is, what was this referencing? Because honestly, when I saw this, I thought Captain America 4.
I thought Fantastic Four until somebody made a meme to show like, oh, Fantastic Four, and then what do you call it? So that's what.
And remember when Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right when Falcon and the Winter Soldier ended, and they announced that they'd be making they're making a Captain America 4 movie. This image came up again with Anthony Mackie and all that. This showed up during that time as well. So I'm like, oh, that's what it was. And I thought that the idea that this was the Fantastic Four had been dashed already. I thought that wasn't really the case.
Yeah, but no, they definitely have a director. It's definitely coming.
We know that.
My question is only in reference to this image.
Yeah, I don't think it's Phase 4. And if it is Phase 4, I'm not sure this was that image. Well, I mean, if it is definitely Phase 4, then this would be that image. Let's see. Why would they take the blue 4 of Fantastic?
That's a good point too.
That is a good point. It is a blue 4. It is a blue 4.
We gotta watch this logo and see who it is.
I'm telling you, yeah. But again, if you twist it like this, it's literally the Avengers A, right there. They just twisted it sideways. It's
maybe hold on. If that's the case, what if since Infinity War and Endgame were technically one movie, what if this is Avengers 4?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. This could be the culmination of what the end of the Phase 4. This could be Avengers 4. Yeah.
Okay. So, how long do you think they keep this multiverse timeline thing going before it gets too crazy? Is it ongoing forever? Or are they going to cut it down to 2 timelines?
No, I think they use the multiverse for a very smart business decision, right? They basically fell into the MCU with Avengers 1 and 2 and all that, right? They fell into it. And because of that, contracts were made in a certain way. A lot of people there are some regrets left and right, things like that. I think not only does it work in the story because we're all used to that, but I also think that because they now know how to do it. They've learned their lessons as far as contracts are concerned. Like we've already talked about all the residual conversations that are being had with Feige and their additional contract negotiations and things like that. So I think they will use the multiverse as a framing device to reset the chips every time. They won't keep it alive. They'll solidify for as long as they need to solidify. The new group, the Young Avengers, will turn into the Avengers, and when they need to shuffle the deck again, the multiverse will return. That's what I think.
Or they'll just have when you got the Young Avengers going at it, and then you can bring in like the de-aged original Avengers to come back 10 years from now.
Whenever you need to change the
and have them come and save the day.
That's right. Whenever you want, whenever the world goes to you can just multiverse and bring it back. So it's a good framing device to rejigger everything.
So okay, TK brings up another very good point, right? And this is the oversaturation that I think that they could be risking here, right? Can you have too much of a good thing?
I think even his mistaken word there is righteous.
I want to
very fast.
I want to ask LeVar this question, Mr. Johnson. Do you think that Kevin Feige and Disney are running the risk between all of these Disney shows in rapid succession. They're all connecting into this thing. They're doing the multiverse. They're literally doing what? 4 movies this year and 5 movies next year, along with even more shows. Is it too much? And at what point do we stop giving a shit?
Never. Too much is never enough. We've been waiting our whole lives for this shit, bro. F out of here. I want to see it all, because even if they don't put it all in movies, they could put it on streaming. And guess what? I'm going to buy every action figure. I'm going to watch all the shows. I'm going to see all the movies. Keep it coming. Just don't make it trash.
That's simple.
You said don't let Zack Snyder anywhere near it. No, I'm sorry.
Slander. The slanderous saga. I'm saying.
Oh, they hold on. They made their money back tenfold. Mm-hmm. But what do you call it? So I think that there's a very high risk that they can alienate people. However, there's also the thing where you got to realize that not every property is going to be for you, and you can just keep up with the series that you want to keep up with. There's some people that only watch the Avengers movies. There's some people that
though, because based on what Kevin Feige's saying, they're trying to thread the needle and keep you on the hook. If you show up to a movie you like and you didn't see the others, you'll be missing characters because they just show in and out. You'll be, Florence Pugh will show up and you won't know what happened. Yeah, I agree with that. COVID really threw a wrench in the whole situation. But my point stands. That's a problem. I agree with you that if they start flooding the zone, then you're going to have to start being picky with which one you want to watch. But based on all the evidence they're bringing, they want to keep y'all on the hook as much as possible because money, it flows. So if you don't watch where the new Black Widow came from, you'll be lost because she'll just show up because you should have watched the show or you should have watched this episode of this.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that concept of you'll be lost because someone shows up or someone has a new suit. Someone has been showing up since the beginning of the MCU.
It's not the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. I get the suit situation. I get that. But a character replacing the Black Widow out of nowhere, like, come on. I'm just using that as an example.
They literally brought in Spider-Man and just said, hey, he was here the whole time. In Civil War.
They had a movie to explain it.
No, they didn't. They had Civil War. Right, Civil War was there. Yeah, but he was already Spider-Man.
One after another. Come on. But that's Spider-Man. Everybody knows who Spider-Man is. But you understand what I'm saying. Like, I honestly think that based on how they're trying to duplicate the comic book narrative. And in the comic book narrative, there are some comics that you are lost if you pick up and did not read the other issues. That's what they're trying to reproduce. And that's where I'm worried a bit.
Does anybody give a shit about this Inhumans movie?
No, Eternals.
Are they still doing the Inhumans movie?
Eternals or whatever?
He means Eternals. Yes. Yes, and I'm going to tell you why.
I want to check it out.
Because I think that Null is one that we was talking about earlier is one of the Eternals villains, and it could all be a way to backdoor into the Venomverse. So I'm just curious enough to see what the hell was going on there. And I think that there's a way that, and plus you're gonna get Jon Snow and what do you call
that? Yeah. Oh no. Moon Knight and all
that. I'm saying you get John and what's the old Rob?
Mm-hmm. Rob Stark and Jon Snow.
Yeah, and something again. So I'm super excited for that. I want to see it forward to just for that.
Yeah, there are some really top level actors in there, and they're being brought to a comic book movie. I want to see how they adapt. It should be interesting.
And I want to see how they tie into Thanos. No, that is wiped from existence. It has nothing to do
never
with
existed
in humans.
Yeah. Feige hated them from day one, and that show was trash, like absolute. I'm the guy who loves to love things, and I thought that show was trash. Like I watched every episode, so I can tell you it is trash.
All right, so I think sucked. All right, I think we're running on the 2-hour mark. So my prediction is, like I said. Go ahead. What's up?
Just to throw something in there. What did you think about that Titan season 3 trailer?
I didn't watch it. As soon as they said F Batman, you know what? I want to go on a Batman rant real quick.
Oh boy!
Just because
you should watch the trailer. Have you seen the trailer?
I have not seen the trailer, but I've seen every single episode of Titans till now. I love with a capital L that show.
I am on the Batman
train. Watch the trailer for season 3.
That said, I don't think Robin has any right to say fuck Batman.
Batman is a piece of shit.
No, he is. I'm going to explain why. I'm explaining. No.
Buying weed and shit.
No, hold on. Slow down. Let me explain. Let me go on my rant, please, sir. Listen, Batman, top scum, right? I'm gonna tell you why. What if Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos? Just think about this in real life. Think about the concept of this. Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos was you know what? I don't like how Silicon Valley is. And there's people that are doing crimes, and most people do crimes because they feel like they don't have any other options and they have people they want to support. So what the billionaires do is they spend their billions of dollars instead of building schools and solving the reasons why people go to crime.
They build floating devices.
Put on equipment at night so that they can go and beat people up. And I'm gonna tell you another thing about Batman.
Isn't that what they're doing right now? The real superheroes. Isn't that what they're doing right now?
Hold on, let me finish. Batman has a cowl. He shows his face to let the police know that he's white, so that they'll say it's cool for you to beat up these poor people, right? So again,
that's Batman, a stretch, but okay.
No, it's not. That's why he does it. Listen, Bruce Wayne is mad that there are poor people in Gotham bringing down his property value.
Are you implying?
I'm not implying. I'm saying.
Whoa. I want to get this straight.
Doesn't want the poor people bringing down.
You're saying that he could have covered completely, but he kept the bottom half so that you would see that he's a white man, so you don't hate on him.
And the police would let him go and continue to beat up poor people.
Where did you get this?
That's where I got it. Life. Listen.
I understand that life can make you think that way, but nobody was thinking that way when they built that character. Get out of here.
I believe Bob Kane and Bill Finger were thinking
ridiculous.
That Batman was made in what, the 30s? 40s?
Sure. So yes. We'll make sure we see this so that we know he's white. So that
yes, absolutely, 100%. Listen, okay, hold on. No. Let me continue because it is a point. The reason Black Panther doesn't have his face showing is because at the time the top folks at Marvel, not Stan Lee, not Jack Kirby, but the people who are above them said you cannot show that the dude's face is black on the cover of the thing, right? And that's the reason they had to color in his face. He was supposed to have a cowl just like Batman. So that is a thing.
So okay, right? So if that's the thing, then you can say that
they wanted to cover Black Panther's face is the same reason Batman's face is open. Now,
if they literally colored in Black Panther's face, then I will give you that. Then I concede, because if they did that, then the opposite can also be true. I get you that. Okay.
Now again, Bruce Wayne thinks these poor people are bringing down his property value.
So let's establish the narrative here on this show. First off, Steve Rogers was a racist, and Bruce Wayne was a dude.
We're not talking about Steve Rogers right now. I didn't say Steve Rogers was a racist. I didn't say Steve Rogers was a racist. I never said that. I said Steve Rogers knew about Isaiah Bradley and didn't say nothing. That's what I said.
Which is racism. Well, come on, man.
I know. It's not, because with Steve Rogers, you have to ask him something because he's not going to lie.
We need to have a conversation, my boy.
Steve Rogers.
It seems every time you see a comic book character, you find racist.
If Sam Wilson asked Steve Rogers, "Did you know about Isaiah Bradley?" I think he would have said, "Yes, I knew." If you asked him to his face, because Steve Rogers don't lie.
Why would you say that? Because he was still in the ice at the time. Like during the whole thing, Bradley he was in the ice.
He was in the ice when Winter Soldier killed Iron Man's parents. But he found out about that. He got access to the government files. He's Captain America. He knows. And you know who else knows? You know who else knows?
Who?
You know who else knows? Nick Fury knew.
Oh yeah,
he ain't say nothing either, and he's up there chilling his face. We could talk about it if we want to talk about it.
I'll give you that. Nick Fury knew, but Nick Fury always is on some other stuff. I get that.
So the point I'm making is the concept of Batman, you would never accept it in real life.
Oh, I don't accept it in
the
comics. I'm not a Batman guy in real life. Yeah.
If Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk decided the way that they were going to fix the crime issue, which is a result of poverty, is to go out and beat people up who are probably poor, because he beats up henchmen all the time and he tortures them for answers. So I'm not saying nothing crazy.
People who got no money, who just try to feed their family. I hear you. Go ahead. Right? And they tend to be people of color.
Right. So
because those are the ones who tend to need to feed their families.
You tell me if you think that would be cool for Mark Zuckerberg to go out and get
I'll give you that analogy right now. If you go online right now, you'll see there's a live feed of like Richard Branson, I think his name is, going to space. Have you seen this shit? And it's just like,
yes,
it is like half of the people are like, oh, this is interesting, and the other half are like, this is what you're doing with your money, you mother. Instead of helping people, you're going to space. What is wrong with you?
I mean, I'm on the train that we do need to go to space though, because I think we've lost our way, like as a country, and we don't care about, like, there's a time where kids in school wanted to grow up and be engineers and all those things, and I think we've gotten away from that, and we're on fucking TikTok now getting stupid. So I think having that vision up into the stars will lead to better things on the planet. If you can learn how to terraform Mars, you can take that technology and fix the problems here. Global warming here. So I'm on board for that, and I think more people to do it because the government has dropped the ball. If the government did not drop the ball, then I would say they can do other things with their money. But I'm not one to tell people to do with their money unless it's going around beating up poor people. But again,
in a suit.
I had a different reason why I thought Batman is an asshole. Explain to them again how he's sending out kids out there to go fight for him, targeting minors, wearing bright clothes so that they could get attacked, and fucking his best friend's daughter, who he knew since he was a kid.
Yep.
So, go ahead, you take it away.
You already said it, so how I'm explaining it? You just took my
I was doing this
is going to be
Woody
the
Allen
Comics
type
podcast
to Commissioner Gordon's daughter. Come on, man.
This is going to be the slanderous podcast.
You see, Peter Parker is the everyman. Peter Parker got problems just like me and you. He happens to have an extremely hot wife or girlfriend, depending on what version you're reading. But he got problems with school.
He lives in New York. He barely has any money, but somehow he always
trying to pay
never
rent.
has an issue.
He got an asshole boss, and he's just trying to make shit work. And that's why I rock with Spider-Man. Bruce Wayne.
Nah. Yeah, I always thought that character was ridiculous. I don't like. I like Spider. I like Batman.
Why he's trash.
I like
he
Batman.
Almost got every metahuman killed. He spends his time plotting on his friends. He's a sociopath. Like he
created all of his own villains. Let's talk about it.
He's just a guy with a belt. He's irresponsible with his money.
and
Honestly,
this is what the Joker has been trying to tell
with
Batman his whole life. Is that you are just a crazy person just like me.
He gets off on just beating up like petty criminals. Like he has no problem breaking bones or any of that
anger
shit,
issues and he couldn't deal with
killing somebody, but I'm not going to kill you and let you kill mad other people. But I get off
you will be punished for it, boy. You will be punished. So when that rich white man just comes out of nowhere and then pulls you out of your Tesla and starts beating you up, then you'll know what happened.
Oh man. You know what else? You know what else is crazy? You know what else is crazy? How a lot of police is out there using the you'll see them, they'll get like Punisher tattoos and all of this stuff. The Punisher is not rocking with the police.
Yeah, even the character the actor that plays him had to come out and be like, nah, that's not what this is for. Don't be doing that. Yeah. People but you can't really blame them for that.
Criminal. The Joker is a different class of criminal. We respect the Joker over here. But anyway,
we just don't respect Batman.
I am done, and I hope somebody clips this black man talk because I will say it again. Clip a lot of this stuff.
Anybody, trust me, I'll be doing one clipping it. You'll see me clipping this stuff because this slander is gonna go far and wide. I suspect.
Don't listen, and like I said, next week we're gonna talk about how Superman is the worst comic book character because he's the biggest Mary Sue in all of pop culture. So we can talk about that.
Superman's interesting. The only time Superman's interesting is when he leaves Earth. Only time he's interesting.
Or when somebody else is smashing Lois Lane, but we're not going to talk
about that. We're not going to kill everybody because of it.
But seriously, though.
See? So what you just described is that the Snyder Spider-Man, the Snyder Superman is the best Superman. You just said that. Because when they kill his wife or whatever and turn him evil, then he's interesting. That is Snyder Superman.
The Kingdom Come Superman is the Alex Ross Kingdom Come Superman.
Sure.
Is the best
which is what Snyder got his inspiration from. That and
but I feel like Snyder doesn't really get he gets the visuals of all of these comics, but I don't know that he really gets the soul of what those comics were trying to say.
People hate his rendition of Superman. I know because he's a selfish asshat who just cares about his chick.
I want to just big shout out to OG TK Cole. We thank you for all your
appreciate you
great comments, and we appreciate the love and support, and the mag for putting us in our place, for knowing that we now can't have Wesley Snipes in the his own shadow. And obviously Court and everybody who came in the comment section was a great part of tonight's show. The man who got them horns, thank you for coming out and showing us some love and then adding to the comments here. But I want us to get out of here now. Where I try to keep us under 2 hours for the show. We're a minute over. So, Mr. K. Asante, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Here we go. How about you? Let's start end strongly here. So, okay, y'all can find me. Actually, you don't even see my name anymore. Maybe because of the way we moved it. Still,
yeah, it's because of the 3.
It's need to work on having that stuff on screen, Steve.
That's crazy.
I know. No, I'm gonna tell you. I know what's happening. Haha, that's why. Because when I put a banner up, you can't see it.
Interesting.
So it's fixed.
Okay. So y'all can find me on Twitter, TKO Asante. Well, the O is a 0 because PlayStation
TK0.
Like O's.
That's what I'm gonna call you now, TK0.
And I call you the Slanderer Saga. You can find me there on Twitter, where every week, as you know, we do this show. We enjoy ourselves. We come here. We talk some craziness. And if you happen to enjoy some gaming, you can catch us Saturday, myself and Mr. Everborn. You can catch us Saturday, where we will be discussing a bit more gaming. Last week, the man was on vacation. It's fine, but we were still able to get a really interesting guest. I don't know if you saw that episode. I hope you did. Really cool stuff.
I was watching it, but I was also surfing last weekend. So
true. Yeah, we saw the man boogie boarding and stuff. I'm like, this man over here enjoying himself while we're stuck in the house and all that. But okay. So this Saturday, I'm not sure what we're gonna do. We're gonna have some surprises, I suspect.
I want to do another Sea of Thieves stream, or we can do another game. But I want to do a stream if we can.
I think I want to do more PC centric things since Steam kind of like pulled that.
You know what? There was a lot of talk about PC. I was on a fleet or whatever that is with the the Clubhouse thing that Twitter tried to steal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was on there with Brap and Optimus Code today, and we were talking about PC gaming and is it really the main platform? So I think that's a good conversation to continue.
We might do that this Saturday. But yes, appreciate all you folks who come out. This show basically is powered by the chat. We interact with the chat. We love the chat, so we appreciate y'all coming out, and we'll see y'all next week. And how about you then, Mr. LeVar?
Wait, hold on. Before you go, you're right. The slander was top tier today. Thank you.
Right? So let it be clear. Please continue moving on. He is no longer just Everborn Saga. He is Everborn the Slanderer Saga. Come on, you know it. You know you deserve it. Come on now, the Slanderer. Come on, let's do it.
And see,
there you go.
With the PC Master Race, you better tune in. You better tune in on Saturday.
It's gonna be a lot of takes.
It's gonna be a lot more slander on
a lot more takes
on the PC. Run a benchmark and turn off the computer race. But anyway, Mr. Johnson, tell them where they can find you, sir. It's not right there because you don't.
On all platforms.
Yes, LeVar F. Johnson, every place: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. in your girl's DMs, all those places. That's where you
I
can find him.
Why you gonna F
man
Johnson? I'm saying.
I see what you did
Never
there.
mind.
Don't disrespect. All right, and you can find me everywhere at Everborn Saga, right? Everborn Saga on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, PlayStation, Steam, Xbox, all that. But most importantly, you can find me at everbornsaga.com, where we have officially released Ariel's Adventure Chapter 1, right? And you can buy that right now if you didn't get it. And any book that you buy from everbornsaga.com comes signed. And I try to put a little personal note into every copy that we sell. So you can get yourself ingratiated into the Everborn Saga. The Kickstarter did amazing. We shipped out just about everyone who filled out the surveys. So if you haven't filled out the surveys, fill those out. You can get your books. But we have the hardcover Prince of Arcadia edition. And we are launching a new series by the end of the summer. And for those that didn't know, Everborn will officially be at New York Comic Con this year in Artist Alley. So we have our own booth. Nice. I'm getting all that together. And like I said, we have a new series coming out, and I hope that I can get it out before Comic Con gets here. So it will be available there. So big thing happening in the Everborn world. And Prince of Arcadia Chapter 4 will be releasing in August. We'll also, alongside with that, release Ultimate Edition Volume 2 that will contain Chapters 3 and 4 for those who want to get it that way. So big things on the horizon, new series coming, novel, getting that edited right now. That's for later on in the year. So thank you, everybody. Again, we appreciate the support. Just hit the like button and share this and tell people about it, because we try to work hard to be entertaining and hopefully knowledgeable, not as knowledgeable as I'd like to be on Venom and Null, but
we'll learn it. We'll learn with it.
We're getting
there. Watch a YouTube video later. You'll know all you need to know.
That's how they do it these days. And like I said, Saturday in the morning on Kay Sante's channel, or TK0 Sante's channel, he got rid of the underscores. I got to give him props. So we do the Gaming Circle podcast. So that's every Saturday, 10 a.m. until whenever. And Mondays on Primetime Gaming with Boom and the crew, where we get into everything. So thanks, everybody. And we are just about out of here. Again, shout out to everybody. And Batman is trash.